Yeah, you can't read it, but I don't think much.
Oh, I shouldn't have done it that way. Yeah, I might need some. This up.
Okay, it is 4 p.m. We will call the Committee on Public Safety to order. Please note that all members are present. I would entertain a motion for the March 25th minutes.
So moved.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, minutes are accepted. We are to public comment. If we have any members of the public that would like to take up to 3 minutes to address the committee, please feel free to come up to the table and we'll hear your comments. Sir,
I just stand here.
whatever you're comfortable with, that's
I
fine.
didn't know.
And your name for the record.
Oh, my name is Michael Narofsky. I'm a resident of Colonial Village. I came here with a couple of issues. The lady gave you a copy of an email, just some issues we had going on and with code, and I talked to Tom Berry this morning, and hopefully we're gonna get things rolling, but I wanted you to see I couldn't really describe it. I think the picture's gonna tell you a story. I'm hopeful we can get this mess taken care of down the street. The second issue was, is there anybody, I don't know some of these faces from the police department here? No?
Not today.
Okay, this is a public safety issue. For a long time now, we've had problems with speeders on MLK. I'm sure you people have heard the problems before. Sunday, I was doing a lot of yard work out in the yard, and all of a sudden we had a large influx of traffic coming down the street. Well, I figured there must have been an accident. And this went on for 3 hours. I finally walked down to the corner of Gordon and MLK. There was a police vehicle there. Nobody could go south on MLK for 3 hours. There was a motorcycle down and some skid marks and some clothes in the road. And I thought that for 3 hours, it was probably a fatality. They didn't tell me anything, and I didn't need to know any details anyway, but I found out there was nothing in the newspaper or anything on this. Finally, I called ILX last night. They said they hadn't heard anything. They said they called dispatch. It must have triggered something on the news last night on ILX and LNS. There was a motorcycle rider, and either he lost control, the police said excessive speed again. And he dumped the bike, and he is in critical condition, but he's alive and in the hospital. I've talked about this in the past, and ever since COVID, it's gotten really bad down there. I think Adam knows about this. He's heard about it, and maybe some of you other people have, but we're kind of dismayed about the speeding that goes on down there. The highway department, because that's a state highway, they raised the speed limit from 35 to 45. And I heard the reason was it's because people were driving 45. Well, they drive 55 and 60 down there now, and we're just kind of dismayed about it. Unless we can, I'm an old dinosaur, and the only way things usually got taken care of before is chickens. Everybody understands they get hit in their wallet with something, but I guess we don't have enough police officers anymore. We're still down on, evidently we can't get young ladies and men to sign up with good records to become police officers. Anyway, that's it for me. I just wanted you to know about those two things.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Any other members of the public that would like to speak for public comment? Sir? Your name, please?
Andrew Ibarra, 2008 Turner Street, Howard Heights subdivision, North Lake. Reason I came down here today is because I had a house fire, and I sort of came into finding out about this ordinance that's in place. My residence was red tagged, And for various reasons, I was not able to monitor and watch over my property. I was recuperating and had to take up residence elsewhere while my house was being addressed and being repaired. Apparently, beyond 90 days of a red tag, there's a security and monitoring fee assessed against the homeowner. I didn't get the first letter. I did get the second one. And in the time that I took to get the time off from work today to come down here, I've been assessed 2 more charges from the city of Lansing. And all in the name of securing and monitoring my property. Well, I take issue with the ordinance, but there's some very interesting facets to that, the very definition of securing and monitoring. I really haven't been able to figure out just what that means and to what extent should that be expected. Now, I certainly don't expect the Lansing Police Department to go over every day, once a day or whatever, to check on my property. That would be unreasonable and practical. So to assess a fee ranging from $165 to $172 a month for the purpose of monitoring. I've had 2 attempted break-ins on my property. I've had squatters in my garage. Now, this is property that's been secured since the fire. And so, again, I have to question just exactly the validity of what entails with this securing my property, monitoring my property. What are my expectations? I think not only is this really over the top, I think it's really heavy-handed. I haven't been able to address this. I've been in the hospital. I've been, off work, and this has been very upsetting. Normally I do keep my property up, but that's been made a little harder. I've had contractors in and out, and they have told me that there's been attempted break-ins in my property. I've had to replace a door and a lock that I had to pay for out of pocket. And there's evidence people have been staying in my garage. That too, the door was busted down and people have entered through there. I don't know what to expect as far as security and monitoring. It seems very unreasonable, heavy-handed, excessive. I'm here to protest it. I really am. I just, I've had to take time off from work for this, but it's important, and I wanted to address this here today and in this forum. And I was told this was the place to do it, so that's why I'm here. I've lived in this residence 25 years, never had any problems. The work that's being done in my house right now, all the permits have been pulled properly to make sure that process is moving forward in a legitimate and legal way. So I look at it, I've been playing by the rules here, and I'm asking for some leniency here, some grace, and that's why I'm here right now. It is upsetting, and I just thought that maybe I would share those thoughts. And I did get this in the mail today, which.
I'm sorry, sir. Could you restate your address? It's on Turner Street, you said?
2008 Turner Street.
Okay.
I'm the only one that lives there. I'm the only one that can, address any of these issues. It's been hard for me because I've been doing it all by myself.
And have you, I know you said you just received the notice today, and thank you for your comment publicly. This is what we gather for, so that residents are able to address this committee. But separately from here and this forum, I wonder if you've reached out to ED&P or worked with any of the staff there as of yet.
I've only spoken with members of the code compliance staff over in the parking ramp down here on Capitol. I've talked to them. I've tried to, reach out to different people. It's been hard because I can't make calls at work. And so if I got 5 minutes here or there that somebody can give me, I try to get on the phone, but I can't always get through. And I can't always get a return call, so it's been hard. So today I thought it'd be a good time to come down here. It was suggested that I come down here for the mayor's office, so.
Okay, yeah, and thank you for that. We can ask maybe some of the staff, or
Sure.
if we have a good contact or a better contact, or maybe schedule a time where he can speak with someone in your office. That may be easier to schedule a time versus.
Sure. Do you mind if I say a few things? I'm Raleigh, I'm the department director. And so Tina's going to give you a card for her. We're happy to talk with you afterwards. I will just state if you want to appeal and protest, the monthly red tag monitoring fees. There's a process to do that. It would not be this committee, it would be the city's claim review process. And so there's an application that goes through the city attorney's office. If you email or reach out to Tina, we'll send you a copy of that application.
Okay,
That would
I
be
do
the-
have a copy of that. They did give
Okay.
me that over at the.
So that would be the formal way to protest or in essence appeal the monthly fee at this time.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Councilmember
Can,
Day?
do you know who you talked to in the mayor's office?
I'm sorry.
Do you know who you talked to in the mayor's office?
He was a liaison, an assistant.
Okay, because I think it, okay, I think this provides us an opportunity to educate, because we get a lot of this. Yeah, and that's okay, right? There's a lot of, a lot of bureaucracy in the city. There's a lot of complex processes and paths to navigate. I certainly understand. But we get a lot of people sending, things to us, people to us, and then people get frustrated with city council when, there's a process, part of the process that's been circumvented. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. So let's find out who that was and make sure they know the process. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Any other public comment? Okay, moving on, we will go on to item number 5B. The resolution for orders to make safe or demolish 108 South Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, and I would need a motion to untable this item. All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, this property is untabled. Raleigh?
Sure, absolutely. I do not believe anybody in the room is here as a party to the ownership. You'll see on ours, if you're looking at my notes, anything in red is what we have new for today. When they were here at committee last, they had supplied with the committee in my office with some project plans and so forth. I had replied to them at that time that it was incomplete in my eyes. There was no timeline or scope of work. The owner did provide that to us at a later date on the 17th. I've reviewed that. It sounds great. It looked great, but it's all going to come down to movement and progress, and certainly being in this process, time is of the essence. I have reached out to the owner as late as yesterday seeking an update. I have not heard back. We did have a conversation with their building contractor. They confirmed work is being done, but the contractor is not at a point in which they're ready to call for any sort of inspections. Contractor did note some significant damage insides, starting with the basement, some structural issues that they're working to address. Unfortunately, this is likely going to be a project that's going to take some significant time to be made safe. Without the owner here today to offer any greater insight, you'll see that our recommendation is to move to make it safe or demolish within 60 days. If this is, and this is actually true for all properties today, these are all fire damaged initially. However, this one, since there is an open permit and work is being performed, the department is willing to recommend a 60-day in lieu of a 21-day order to try and give them some time to finish out and get further inspections. But certainly, ultimately, that decision is up to you.
Thank you. Any questions from members? Do we have a motion?
I would move a 60-day, make safe or demolish.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to 1212 Parkview Avenue. Do we have the property owner here? If you'd like to take a seat at the table, please.
Thank you.
And a motion to untable. All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, untable. Raleigh, please go ahead.
Certainly. You'll see a couple updates in red. I'll note under the building permit, just to know for process wise, they're probably ready for a final, but can't schedule until their plumbing and mechanical permits have been approved. They did have, and I'm sure you'll hear from the owner, they had 2 inspections today. Their mechanical permit did fail. In talking with the chief mechanical inspector who responded, they were not ready for the inspection to begin with. And so it's not in a position for them to pass it. And so that will have to be rescheduled when ready. Plumbing permit slightly different. Final inspection occurred with partial approval. This is a simple matter that I imagine the owner will have corrected quite quickly as the water temps were not set at the time. Plumbing inspector has to do a temperature test at the final inspection. And so they weren't ready for that. And so it did receive a partial approval again from the department's end. That's a small correction. We see that often. I imagine that will be corrected quite soon. We are recommending though a move for 60 days. Interested to hear what the owner thinks, but my hope is within that time frame they'll be all finished.
Thank you very much for giving us 60 days. Just to give you an update.
Sure, name for the record.
Ken, K-E-N, the last name is Ogundipe, Ogundipe. I'm very proud of what is going on this project. This has been a very interesting project. We've got some delays. The mechanical, my guys that are working on it, told me that they should be able to complete it this week. I'll still take 60 days. Okay. The plumbing, they're going to do the temperature set. They've done the adjustment. So that should be completed this week also. And then afterwards, we're going to ask for final. I'm very, very impressed with what we've done on that property. So.
That's fantastic. I will open it up to questions, but it does sound like within that 60-day window, you're confident that you'll be completed with this process. Any questions from committee members? Okay, do we have a motion for this property?
I would move 60-day, make safe for demolish.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you, council members.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
All right, next on the agenda, 3134 Viking Road. Do we have the property owner for Viking present? No? Okay, Raleigh, please go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Proper motion has been made. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, this is untabled. Raleigh, please.
Thank you. We have made attempts in the last few days to reach the property owner. We have not heard back. I do not have any updates since we've last spoke. They have a variety of trade permits. Actually, all trade permits were open at one point. Building is expired. Mechanical is expired. Both electrical and plumbing expire at the end of May. This says there's clear work that's been done, but I haven't had any recent update or recent inspection requests to give you anything more affirmative. It was originally fire damaged. But we're comfortable with the similar recommendations because some work has been done to recommend a 60-day order to make safe for demolition.
Okay, any questions from committee members? Motion.
I'd move 60 days, make safe for demolish.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. And next on the agenda, 2407 Dunlap Street. Motion on table, please. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Untabled. Raleigh, please go ahead.
Certainly. We do have the owner present here today. They were at committee last time. This house is nearly done. All permits have been pulled. There's been inspections throughout the process. I believe we heard testimony last time from the owner that there's efforts to be done soon. I believe if I heard right, your mother had surgery. And so I recognize that offers some delay for your family. I don't have any additional updates today to offer outside of what the owner's testimony may be. Depending on that, though, that may change our recommendation. But at this time, we're optimistic that they can finish within 60 days. And so currently our recommendation is a order to make safer demo within 60 days.
Sir, your name for the record before you begin?
Heyman Job. Like he mentioned, I was here last time. My mother had surgery, and I did delay me some time, but I brought some photos with me, update on the progress they have done since then. And I had all my drywalls done, mudding. I have put up my kitchen cabinets, and I will be start painting soon in a few days. Paint's going to start. So as of that, from that time that I did, like I mentioned, I did lose some days. But I did bring some photos so I could share with you guys and give you an update on what I've been doing since then. So that I do have that. That's all I have for you.
Any questions from committee members?
I don't think I need to see additional photos. I mean, it sounds like it's at the finish line, and we appreciate that. So I think that I'm comfortable with making this decision to do the 60 days. That should be plenty of time to finish up what needs to be finished. And I passed the property a couple weeks ago too. It's clean, it looks good. So
Okay, that
60-day motion, yes.
Before you vote, could I just maybe for the sake of the owner, just to understand or take the vote and maybe if you don't mind explaining this after the fact, what happens next, right? These will be at council, I believe, on the 21st.
Sure. So we will move forward with the motion and then we can.
Okay, thank you.
Explain next steps. So a proper motion has been made. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes 60-day.
Thank you so much.
Do you want me?
However.
I'll start. I'll start. Others, if correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is these will be on city council's agenda for the 21st.
Yeah.
And so that'll be the vote before all members of council. If they vote in the affirmative, then from that moment, you have 60 days from that moment to make it safe or demolish it. So at that 61st day, my department will make the determination if you've made it safe. And then if you have, we'll make that determination and remove the red tag. If you have not, then that does give the city jurisdictional control to come in and demolish the home. So we'll be in touch with you during that time frame. But 60 days doesn't start from today. It would start from that 21st date.
Yes.
And make sure that you stay in contact with these folks if there's any hiccups. That is the best way to assure that we don't have a misunderstanding.
All right. Yeah.
With no
Thank you.
other, items,
Yeah,
Any other
yeah, a couple
comments
things.
from
One,
any members?
since we did have, since we had here, since we did.
Sure.
Here. Who is, for that area now, things change so often, that area, who is our code officer, who's our premise inspector?
You know, find it.
We're talking about Woodbine, we're talking about Kelsey,
I'm
that.
trying to think of that cutoff.
Timmy the premise.
Timmy is now premise.
Mhm. Who, what's Timmy's full name? You know?
Sorry.
Timmy Smith
Smith,
is the premise officer.
Tim Smith. Okay.
actually made you some new maps.
Oh, my goodness, amazing. Gotta hook Mike up with one of those.
It
And then who's the code?
Is it you?
It's, I think it's
Just
right
south of
there is
Mount
their cutoff, so I think it's Shane.
Shane Grinnell.
Shane took over time.
So that'd be Officer Shane Grinnell,
Right now.
Grinnell.
Okay, and then what is the delineation line for our lead housing inspectors? So we have one that's north, one that's south, right? Yes, what's that northern boundary for you, Meredith?
Well, hopefully it will be just Mount Hope.
Mount Hope. So you would be the lead
Right.
housing inspector for this area?
Yep.
Okay. I just want to make sure that
Right
when
now-
you're advocating, I want to make sure you're actually contacting the right people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right, for efficiency purposes. And we'll certainly make sure you get an updated map. Yeah. Okay. And then did you have any commentary with regard to what you heard earlier?
And so I noted the subject line is 1121 Woodbine. I did a quick search. It does look like we have an enforcement. Let me see this. Change that. April 2nd, so just a few days ago. So that perhaps was before or after the gentleman behind me contacted the office. I'll explain what that enforcement here is in a second. I get it.
It looks like we got this on the 7th.
We have a premise violation on April 2nd, trash and debris, deteriorated appliances, variety of electronic equipment, metal product, debris, plastic containers, tires, loose trash, debris, etc., plastic, glass, metal, cardboard, bags, boxes, barrels, and garbage. There's a reinspection scheduled for April 10th. Meredith, do you mind explaining just out loud, if on that 10th, if they have not complied, what's the next step?
Whoever wrote the violation will go back, take a picture, submit it to our contractors to be cleaned up if property owner has not requested an extension. And not here as of yet. They have done so.
All right. So we just wanted you to understand what's been done, what the timeline is, so that there's a realistic expectation. Do you have anything?
No.
Okay. The other thing is, and I'm sorry for missing the last meeting. You guys may have talked about this. So this document is marked internal. Raleigh, what does that mean?
Say that again.
This document is marked internal. What does that mean?
Sure. So I know I've spoken with the chairwoman a little bit about this.
Okay.
So we're working through what level of notes can I offer that can then be shared publicly. Initially, when I had done these notes, these were kind of more not fully, how do I want to say, professionally vetted for public eyes necessarily. They're more of our quick internal notes to offer you guys some outlines. I'm in conversations with the chairperson on how we can maybe meet in a middle ground.
Okay.
To offer you something that could potentially be put in the record. And so initially when I had been doing those and I noticed they were put in the record, I had not vetted them in my eyes for that. So there's some offhand recommendations and internal notes that I just wanted a chance, knowing now that they may be put in the record, to be able to make sure I've choosing my words correctly.
The reason I was confused is because as long as I've been doing this, when a document is presented in an open meeting like this, particularly when it's read into the record, essentially, this then becomes part of the packet online, right? Even if it's retroactive, it's part of the public record. So that confused me. Okay, so we are then good to retroactively place this in our
For
package.
the version I've given you today, I'm fine with that because I vetted that.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, there just may be some additional offhand comments I won't include moving
Right.
forward.
Yep.
And the timing of it as well. I mean, as you noticed, some of them today or what you heard last night, there are inspections all the way up until, like, the gentleman for Parkview had inspections up until this afternoon. So it's hard for me to get you anything prior to committee
Right.
because then I'll have a different version by Tuesday.
Got it. So.
Okay, anything else? We are adjourned at 4:25. Thank you.